Back in the day when I was a child, I was bullied a lot. So much so that I even almost committed suicide. It changed me who I actually am today. I am much more stronger than before. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that is exactly what it did to me. I became stronger. But I wasn't always that strong. I was always weak. Of course, there is nothing wrong in being weak. But yeah, the reason why I was bullied so much because I was different. I was not like everyone else. If you are not like everyone else, then yeah. And that is exactly what a dragon actually loves from you. That you are not exactly like everyone else. Everyone else is just the same. They are always like robotic to the same to each other. And if you are not like them, of course you are going to be expelled, you are going to be bullied, you are going to be everywhere like this. Of course, to this day, I always pretend to be someone else, and that is what they love so much. But yeah, in myself, I am completely the same thing, the one that is fragile from before. And actually, what helped me a lot in my path, of course, was exactly the dragon. The dragon that was not in my imagination. I mean, I thought that the dragon was in my imagination, but then I saw my dragon in a physical way for one time. And that is exactly where my path began. And he was actually the responsible that I was holding on to this world. And sometimes people say, why do you love the dragon so much? Because the dragon is there actually to hold you in their arms whenever you're having a rough time. So actually what I feel so good whenever the dragon is close. I feel so myself. And feeling myself is exactly what I cannot do in this world. I don't feel myself among all of these other people that I have to do the same thing like them. I'm not like them. None of us are like them. We are much more closer to the dragon than to humans. But we have, of course, our human life. We cannot help it. We cannot say now it stops. No, we have to go on. But my dragon helped me a lot to go on, to go further. Every time when I have a weak moment, when I have this, I just reach out for my dragon. I know that the dragon is there because with the dragon I can be myself. Just charging my batteries. That is exactly what I'm doing here in the forests, to be myself, to charge my batteries. And I have this question from a brother who said, sometimes I feel fear with the dragon. Why do I sometimes feel fear? Fear when the dragon is close. Actually, there are several reasons for this. Whenever you feel fear for the dragon, actually, first of all, you shouldn't feel that. You should not feel fear whenever your dragon is close. You should feel connected. You should feel one with the dragon. You should feel happiness. You should feel at home. That is exactly what you should feel whenever your dragon is close. Whenever you accept your path, this is what you feel. Happiness. That you are where you actually should be, where you belong to be, with the dragon by your side. This is happiness. But I learned from this the first time in my dragon's path that I actually questioned my faith and that I felt so much darkness and a bit fear that I felt as well is when Leviathan was actually very close to me. Leviathan is a dragon god, the dragon god of the void, the dragon god of the waters, the rivers, and the dragon god of the gates. He's actually the very much protector of all of the lights. But inside of the darkness, he is actually very close to every one of us. He's the darkness that lives in every dragon heart. He's Leviathan. And that is what I felt the first time that I connected with such a dark dragon, that I felt fear a bit. Most of the time because I was unsure of what I was actually connecting with. Because in my entire life they said that the dragon was something dark and evil and demonic, or something far away from humans. That is exactly the reason why I am so close to the dragons, why we are so close to the dragons. We are not 100% human based, you can say. We are completely different than them. So yeah, I felt this fear for this dragon that approached me, for Leviathan, because I in the beginning of my path I said all of the dragons are welcome, all of them can just show them, I mean, they are all welcome. They are all welcome. That is what I wanted to inside of a ritual, and that is exactly where Leviathan responded to. So everyone is welcome, as do I. So that is Leviathan. And whenever he was close, I questioned my faith, because he was dark, my brothers and sisters. Oh my goodness, he's so dark. He's not at all like Tiamat. Tiamat is chaos. Very much demonized, but chaos. And that is exactly what every dragon is. Every dragon is chaos. So it starts all from chaos. And exactly that is also where my path began, because of chaos. And my life was entirely chaos as well. But out of the chaos, you create your own path. So why does it come that sometimes you can feel fear for the dragon? Well, several reasons. First of all, like I said, Leviathan can show us a lot of fear. He is the ruler of the void, and the void is a very dark dimension. A very dark dimension where we sometimes go inside. Every dragon spirit that we are tested inside of the void. The void. Whenever we sometimes go asleep, we think that this is a nightmare. That this is a nightmare that is so close to us, that is sometimes teaching us. But sometimes it's so real and so realistic that you say that was no nightmare. That was a visit to the void. That was a visit from the darkest pits. And alongside, then most of the time, this is because your Leviathan has sent you there. And sometimes we see things there that are not 100% real, but it reflects your own darkness. You can fear that. That is exactly what you can fear. Whatever you see inside of the void, you can fear. And sometimes you see the dragon in there, and that is a good test. That is a very good test, actually, that I had inside of the void. Inside of the void, I could see one long time ago. I could see my own dragon. You know, I love my dragon. I would die for my dragon. I would do everything for my dragon. If there is a great love that I have in this world, then it's a love for my dragon. Then it's the love for him. I love him so much, I would die for him. I would stand in between, someone would kill him. I would stand in between and take the bullet. I would take it, everything. That is how much I love the dragon. That is why I am so deep inside of the dragon's path. I wanted to know all. But inside of the void, I had this test, you can say. I had this great test, you know, and I remember it to this day. So that is how vivid it was. In this test, it was that the dragon, my dragon, was actually there, but furious at me, like showing his teeth, and was ready actually to kill me and to eat me and to whatever animals would do, actually, wild animals. You know, the dragon was there and he didn't recognize me, and he just wanted to kill me. That is the only thing, and he was like a wild animal or something like this. And that is not what dragons are. Dragons are wise. Dragons are filled with knowledge. Dragons are actually not at all what humans make of them. Dragons are so unique and wise and so ancient. But in this dream, he was like an animal, like a savage animal, and he wanted to kill me. You know, but in this dream, but that was not a dream. That was a visit to the void. And I was afraid of my dragon. I was afraid. I felt fear for the first time when I see the dragon. But my fear fainted away eventually. And I was ready to die at that moment. I was ready because it felt so real. You know, whenever I died inside of the void, it felt so real that I indeed died at that moment. That I wrote it down in my book of Dragon Shadows. You know, I feared my dragon that moment, but I took it because I accepted it. I accepted whatever my dragon was giving to me. Sometimes, and I even felt proud. You know, I would die for the dragon. I would die for my dragon. And that is, oh my goddess, fear. And there is also another reason why you can fear dragons. You know, sometimes people don't like to say this, you know. I even don't like to say this. But yeah, demons. Demons is a very religious word, actually, for beings from the void. You know, if there is a reason why you fear your dragon, it's because of the void. It's because of that. For this reason, it's because the void is filled with spirits. Filled with so many spirits, and some of these spirits are shapeshifters. And sometimes they can read your mind, sometimes they can connect with you, and they know what you like, they know what you love, they can read you, they know what fears you, what you fear. I mean, You know what you fear, they know what you love, they read you like a book. And they know about the dragon. And sometimes they shapeshift in the dragon that you love so much. Or maybe in the dragon gods. Sometimes they can come before you as just a dragon. Just a dragon. But they don't feel like the dragon. They are not a dragon. They are a spirit from the void and they just want to get out. And they are hoping that you are giving energy to them so that they can be out of the void. Of course, I can understand these spirits so well. Very, very much. These spirits are just trapped inside of the void. A living nightmare where they can never wake up from. It's a horrible, horrible end for a lot of spirits actually in this world. That they just don't even realize what is about to come once their path is done here on earth. So these are shapeshifting into dragons. And whenever you sometimes feel these dragons, sometimes you feel fear. Because it doesn't feel right. Whenever these demon dragons, you can say, are coming to you. These are lost spirits actually. But the church of course sometimes refers to demons to them, but of course they are not really demons. But that is what I call them sometimes. I call them demon dragons. Because you fear them and they are not really dragons. That is why sometimes they come before us as a dragon and it doesn't feel correct. So yeah, but most of the time when I just want to go back to this, actually our dragons, you know, the dragon, my dragon, is actually the reason why I can go on in this life. I love my dragon so much. Of course, other people don't see him, but they don't have to. He's here for me, just like your dragon is here for you. And you shouldn't fear your dragon. You should feel happiness. You should feel, you know, the strength to go on. You should feel happiness. You should feel home. You should feel home at the dragon. You should never feel fear for them. Inside of the void, of course, Leviathan can play tricks on you, and the void can play tricks on you. Everything can play tricks on you. And sometimes your dragon can be angry with you. Of course, whenever you fail, whenever you do something bad, and that is my biggest fear in the beginning of my path, how to, you know, that I would actually anger my dragon, or that I would disappoint my dragon. That was my greatest fear. Actually, my greatest fear was that my dragon would leave me. Because without the dragon, I cannot go on. I cannot go on in this world. I cannot go on just simply with these humans because they are not like us. Just whenever my dragon is close, I feel so much in charging my energies. You know, that is what dragons actually are. They are charging your batteries. Because you are actually a trinity. You are dragon god, your dragon by your side, and yourself. Whenever you are close, it feeds you. It's your energy. It feeds your energy so much. And that is exactly what I'm doing here in the forest. I'm trying to connect with the dragon here in this river, with this river. I try to connect with them where there are no people. I just want to be alone with them. And so, you shouldn't feel fear. You should feel happiness. That is the entire point also of the dragon's path. And whenever you feel fear, it's time to think about this. What is happening? So is it the void? Is it Leviathan? Is it something that you've done? That is actually my biggest fear as well. Yeah, that is the fear that I have on the dragon's path. That is what my dragon would go away. But your dragon will never go away because dragons are loyal and your soul is so much connected to them. And your soul is not just from this life. Your soul has a story to tell from before that. And that is how loyal dragons are. They follow you even after you are gone. They follow you everywhere you go. And that is why we should never actually fear the dragon.